It is time for some Counter-Strike. We have 3 series for you today. We have 2 in Europe and 1 in North America. Super excited for especially the first series because that could potentially, and apparently according to a lot of people should, be a bit of a preview of what our grand finals is going to be. We have got the bracket to show you where we are at as well. I'm here with Potter and Ms. Harvey, and I mean, Potter, this first matchup, XSET versus Galaxy Racer, was the grand finals of previous time as well. From what you have seen so far, would you say the same thing could be true this time around?
Yeah, no, I definitely have to echo that sentiment as well. This is absolutely going to be the preview of the grand final. Both of these squads really showcasing dominant performances in their series respectively. But yeah, I mean, just looking at that bracket, once again, I have to highlight, we've had some spectacular individuals showing up, even in those lost series. We had Jamie, we had Wiki, we had Senna, we had a lot of players. Andrea showing up and showcasing a lot of skill, but for sure, XSET and Galaxy Racer, they seem to be just ahead of the competition so far.
Yeah, what makes a difference?
Yeah, no. I think it's experience. Obviously, you know, there's a lot of depth in that roster. There's a good also Zoomer Boomer ratio. I think we keep talking about that, right? And there's also—
It's relevant.
It is, especially on the women's side these days. I don't think we could win championships with 5 boomers anymore. It's not really realistic. So,
or can we?
Or can we, Christine? But it's really cool to see that there's a clear top 2 at the moment, because if you remember, not only a couple of years ago, it was only the XSET roster. It was only about Juliana and Zaz and whoever they teamed up with, which at the time was Vilga. So to see that Vilga decided to take on that kind of challenge on her own back and do that with more girls is really inspiring, I think, for everyone across the world, I want to say, to try to defeat the Goliaths.
Now we also, after our preview of the grand finals, we also have 2 challengers still playing in the lower bracket. That is Project C and No Fear 5, and then the North American branch will have a series after that. But let's focus first on Galaxy Racers and XSET. We have got their map veto right here. What are we expecting? Both of these squads banned Mirage in the first series that they played, and we have only seen 1 series this tournament so far, so we got to see a little bit of a change up here. Any predictions?
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you.
Okay. I wanted to touch on the Mirage ban. The fact that both squads banned it, I think is really interesting. Who's going to float it? But it looks like Galaxy Racer is going to be the one to veto it out first. I don't like that. I think that's a bit disappointing. I think they had an opportunity to just float it. I don't think XSET would have picked it first coming to this series. That Inferno ban, it is a trend coming out from XSET. Now these picks, I imagine XSET will pick Train, and for Galaxy Racer, maybe a Vertigo?
Yeah, there was a Vertigo, but hey, a Nuke joins the fray.
A Nuke, interesting.
A Nuke and a Vertigo. Once again, we only saw 1 Inferno so far in this whole tournament. Like you said, Christine, it's a trend not only for XSET, it seems to be for the whole women's circuit. But to have a decider be Train. So Vertigo, Nuke, Train, those maps, I'm excited. The Vertigo, I don't think I've ever seen this matchup on Vertigo, if I'm not mistaken. It probably happened some tournaments recently that happened in EU, but I personally never watched it, so I'm excited to see how XSET does on the Vertigo.
Well, we are going to find out. Let's focus first on XSET and talk a little bit more about them. This is a squad that we've talked about as the favorites coming into this tournament. We talked to Petra. Their opening match, guys, was, I mean, it was a very, very one-sided 2-0 against Arcane Wave. I didn't feel like they were really, truly challenged. And maybe, Harvey, this will be the first time they actually will be challenged.
This is definitely their biggest challenge, you know, probably in the last couple of weeks since that DreamHack Open event where they played versus the main group of teams. But, you know, Zaz and Juliana, they want to prove that they are still the queens, that they've been there for close to a decade now, and they want to be that girl team that breaks the male circuit, and they're pretty close. Like we mentioned, their open event was quite good, to be honest, compared to the first time they played in it.
Yeah, and I think this Vertigo pick coming out is going to be really interesting because, as you say, Steph, that matchup in DreamHack versus Virtus Pro versus the top echelon of teams, right? Virtus Pro is a top 10 team in the world. On that Vertigo, the score line, it was 16-5, but look at these stats. I mean, Zaz, she popped off and she was feeling herself. She was feeling good. The way that she was dissecting those B stairs on her lurk, she was going toe-to-toe with some of the best players in the world. So definitely it looks like Zaz and Vertigo, they're going hand in hand for me a little bit. I'm curious to see if she's able to perform and put up those kinds of numbers versus Galaxy Racer, because these ladies absolutely looked so comfortable on the map in their opening series.
Yeah, we are going to talk about Galaxy Racer next. This team has got a massive organization backing them up. Since they faced in the grand finals of the Summer Showdown, they have gotten a new coach. They have gotten a esports psychologist, basically making them feel ready to try and beat the queens, I guess. XSET being on top of the food chain right now, Galaxy Racer wants to take that spot.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think this is why Vilga is so fierce about it, right? She wants to prove that all the hard work that she's been putting in since she left the other team, the enemy team, if I put it that way, is at some point should pay off, right? Because they're investing a lot of time with that roster. You know, Claudia works full time, but right as she comes home, she's in the server practicing until late at night. These girls are always playing Counter-Strike. So it shows, like Anna's performance. We always knew Anna was good, but is this where she finally will break that ceiling where she's gonna be that superstar? And I hope she is.
I feel like that's such a good point, right? And I want to harp a little bit more on the rivalry aspect of it because it runs deep, right? We're talking about Vilga, the fact that she veered off from this main core on XSET. We kind of forgot about Mimi. I mean, the fact that Vilga took Mimi and then Mimi left and went back into the hands of Giuliano and Zaz, and now they're facing up against each other once again. So that's really cool. I know there's a lot of drama. I know the ladies on XSET do not want to lose. And for sure, XSET are just like, Vilga, you made a mistake. You left us. So there's a lot of points to be proven in this series for sure. And it's exciting. And I want Anna to pop off. I want to see Anna just putting up those numbers and having no fear.
Now it's time for showing some of Anna's numbers because we have the US Air Force aim high, and Anna is one of the two players we want to compare. She showed bright last time we saw her, but so did Petra. Harvey, what is the most notable thing when you see these player stats?
Look, it has to be the KD ratio. I know this is usually a stat that doesn't really matter, but look at how dominant these two squads came here today. 2.1 and 2.0 KD ratio. This is quite impressive considering the amount of maps that we play in these events and just overall across the year. These are not a lot of stats to go through. So you have a bad match and that KD ratio plummets down. So to see it that high right now in that head-to-head is quite impressive.
All right, Potter, before you say anything, we are, running a little short on time. The girls are roaring to start. Ooh. We need very quick predictions.
Okay.
So you go first.
Oh boy, I'm going with Galaxy Racer here. I'm going with Galaxy Racer. Let's go, Vilga. Let's go, Anna.
All right, I'm going with XSET. What about you, Harvey?
Oh no, you made me choose.
Yes.
I have to go with XSET. I love you, Claudia. I love you. Forgive me.
Yeah, but that's all the time we have. There's still Twitch votes as well. The result of that is also in favor of XSET. History has shown that they are the strongest team, but Galaxy Racers come prepared. Let's see what they got.
Well, we have a very good upper bracket final on our hands. Now, keep in mind, there is still the lower bracket that can come into effect, of course, but we have a feeling this could be the first taste of potentially the grand final to come, Veerless. Looking at these two teams, you'd certainly say they are the front runners for the region right now, and we have Vertigo in front of us. What are your thoughts coming into this?
Oh, I'm very interested to see because now XSET will be faced with Vertigo, a map we haven't seen them play a lot, and Galaxy Racer, they did play this map before in this tournament, but then they weren't really met with a lot of resistance, so now facing off against XSET, this must be one big banger, and it looks like that Galaxy Racer might be on the way to take A side, but everything slows down a little bit. Tiny bit of util used. Oh, and look at that. XSET tried to go for a little bit of information there on A ramp, but that gives the time for Galaxy Racer to pick up a frag. Though, Mimi is coming in from behind, but A side now is all of Galaxy Racer.
Yeah, but the quick flank is going to be imperative to this. It's going to be Anna kind of charged with keeping control of this. It looks like Vilga might even have a little flash for it too. You can see the swing coming in from Claudia. A little bit of a trade out, but it's Anna in 23 to tip the scales back on over, so very well played out. I liked XSET being proactive on the CT side, but those initial picks, that big quick play and that catch from 23 initially was imperative, and Zaz going to be the last to fall and last to stand for XSET. That's the pistol going towards Galaxy Racer in a very composed approach. You saw that kind of patient play towards ramp. Zero noise noted. Hopefully we get to see that again. Yeah, here it is. So there's that catch at the start. Giuliano wanting information. Now, CT side aggression is great on this map. Rotations can be pretty brutal, but doing that on two sides leaves you a little thin and already going to suffer because of it. We have the force in of, you know, the Deagles, the Scouts, just as potent coming into this map.
Yeah, we've seen XSET doing this before against Arcane Wave, so it's not really weird that we see a force by now coming in, but we know Galaxy Racer is a tough opponent, so now them with the rifles and the Mach-10s, this might get a little bit spicier. And already a little bit of damage dealt onto Vilga, only 6 HP left for her, but she's still alive. And now, Galaxy Racer on the way once again. We see two people deep in ramp, just waiting patiently. And Petra, in the meantime, just jumping and looking over her shoulder to see if anyone is there. And boom, there is. So she will just back off a little bit and wait for a little bit of backup on her team.
The one thing to know about this as well is the amount of utility left on both sides. Keep in mind, XSET came into this with limited amounts already, but they still have enough to play with. Smokes coming to play, a couple of nades as well. They could send them down range and find decent target. One Molotov, I think, just got invested towards Sandbag from the T's, potentially, just to clear that out, which is a pretty valuable spot to try and ensure you clear safely. Vilga probably going to smoke the side of sight here once you do the little jump up. Yep, there it is. There it goes. Giuliano, though, the timing does get the information, but now it's going to be on Petra to do some damage with this, though. This push is going to come in regardless. There's those nades we noted earlier. Mimi just spamming away, but there's damage being done here, Veerless.
Oh, and finally the nade will deal with Anna, so that does leave us actually with a player advantage here for XSET, but of course just the Deagles, and there is no kit in hand for XSET, so they need to make a move fast if they want to make this work. But there's still some util left, and Galaxy Racer pretty much a pretty good position, and it's now Kelly V taking the first shot. And even though there was someone on the bomb, it looks like a lost cause. 1 versus 2, pretty much no time left. Yeah, and at this point, Petra just trying to deal a little bit more damage. Not gonna happen. 2 players surviving now for Galaxy Racer, and it is a 2-0.
Well, unfortunate they couldn't recover that Galil as well. I think Kelly V had that, if I'm not mistaken. They came in with 1 AK, 1 Galil, and then the Mac-10s around. Keep in mind, I'm judging this at the highest end. I saw what CLG Red came in with the good fundamentals, the very well-rounded approach. I'm looking at really good economy management, ensuring that, again, keep in mind, if XSET get rolling in this, they've had a very poor start. They lost the pistol, and the second round was still very close. They've been doing damage. Now, they're going to have to just kind of sit back on this round. Crassy, don't be doing that. You're going to sit back on this round, and there's nothing to be done. If you stack out, try maybe get a gun away. Obviously, ideally, you get the AK out of their hands. Probably not going to happen, though. So again, win conditions for XSET would be just a touch of damage more than anything, but you're probably not going to get it. So weather the storm this round, try and get the information, get your mindset right. Petra, nice work towards Vilga. Again, this is what I want to be looking at here, though, is just keeping these fundamentals in place. Clean anti-ecos, not allowing any of these, USPs to come in and do damage. I'd have liked to see them potentially make sure Vilga's Mac 10 isn't going to go anywhere. And again, does at least get kind of somewhat policed. Again, this is the thing I want to look at. Good policing of the weaponry if it does get lost. Making sure no free AKs fall into CT-sided hands. Any of this, these kind of like slightly, not necessarily even higher end, but those protocols are all in place. If I've seen CLG Red doing it, I expect it from these, these two teams as well.
Yeah, you're spot on. Here, 3 rounds now for Galaxy Racer, and as you said, economy is really important, and keeping the economy of your opponent low is the second part, right, of it. And now we see a fast play coming in from Galaxy Racer on mid. We've seen this also against No Fear 5, and back then they weren't really met with a lot of resistance. They pretty much got mid for free. Now they will have to pull in a little bit more Yuto at least to take charge of it. And it looks like XSET will just try to flash around the corner. It's not really gonna happen. Luckily, a spray for the smoke will do, and that is suddenly Mimi with the bomb now.
Yeah, 23 and Claudia left to try and find a way through, and you can wrap this out. And you can see Claudia absolutely sniffing out the cheese, gets one, but a quick trade. That's Zaz still holding on. Once that mid-presence gets kind of noted by the CTs, it's very hard to hold that completely. Nice try from 23. Mimi lands just that additional bullet, left alive on 1 HP. I like the mid-play from Galaxy Racer. You saw how hectic it was to hold and how tricky it was. Zaz just being the rock of a team, staying alive, playing the positions well, getting a really valuable trade. Nice work initially here, playing those slightly deeper holds, and there's that shutdown from Mimi in the end. But again, nice intention from Galaxy Racer. I almost hoped that they'd hit the pause and then just kind of add that paranoia, because T-sides, once they get that mid control, it's so hard to keep note. But we do have Anna on the orb, and that was a big factor before. Wait, what is this? Trade out in the smoke. This is going to get really awkward between these players. 23 is there. Crassi, are you really doing this? Are you going to let 23 potentially get a fight on your teammate just to get the others? This is a big bait position. Turns around, finally gets 23, but that could have gone either way there.
Well, now they just try to hold on to the bomb. That's even in yet another tag by Cressy there onto Vilga, down to just 36 HP. They were met with a little bit of resistance right back into it, but it looks pretty solid here by XSET. But now there's yet another smoke on top of it, this time a little bit higher, so it does make things a little bit difficult here for XSET to keep in control. But there's a little bit of a gap. Cressy can try to look behind it, and if someone will be showing, actually it is Vilga instead taking the shot, and now making things even on the number board. Oh, and now Giuliano, of course you have to hold that smoke, and just walking straight out of it will not do it here for Galaxy Racer. And now they try to answer back with a little bit more of aggression.
I like seeing Giuliano just kind of fade away from this, but Anna cracking that open. You could already see Mimi was considering that, already watching that, but she still prevails. Giuliano's going to play ahead of the Molotov, but loses out to Kelly V, who is incredibly low. 13 HP does the job, and this is actually a very diligent side take from the Ts. Surprising they've kind of landed it at this point. That was a very tough scenario, even with the CTs playing back towards site. Anna now trying to keep headshots safe. Potentially going to see 2 there, so good information to be found at the very least. That smoke actually may not help things. Anna trying to play under it. Gets a look in, but loses life. And now a 2v2 post-plant. You've got Petra with a kit. Still very possible.
Yeah, and the time will be ticking. That smoke will eventually fade as well. And of course, a fake defuse, and the timing is not working in the favor there of Petra. Now the kit is in the hands of Sars, but she will not be able to do a simple thing. The bomb is about to explode. And yet another round now for Galaxy Racer on the board. And as you said, it was hectic at first, but the way that Galaxy Racer just grabbed them all together, used their util well to make sure XSET was not able to hold control of that bomb site, I really like that.
Yeah, this is going to keep the money pretty humble as well for the CTs, so this should kind of potentially put another round on the board. This is a very good T-side so far for Galaxy Racer. And again, if you're XSET, it's not necessarily bad blood, but when you look at XSET, this team plays a dirty game. If they want to get in your head, they can. That's one of the best things about Zaz and Giuliano. When they pop off, They are very hard to handle. Anna needs to be careful here, wants to build up bank, of course, to maybe get back up on the AWP that Claudia couldn't recover. Vertigo, man, it's almost like there's no walls on it. Gotta be a little careful. There's a couple more players roaming around this side, so you can see Anna being the first at the forefront here with that MAC-10, trying to clear out as they go. But for me, I think this is a very good look for Galaxy Racer to not get that feeling of just being under the thumb, being kept in by XSET, which can happen. Now, Zaz is your danger player this round. There are some Deagles, some P250s, but that's about it.
Ooh, Cressy here trying to make a play, only tagging Anna for just a little bit. And now it's Anna time to hunt, but hello, it is Cressy with the headshot coming in and make it 2 before she eventually gets traded. And yes, there is still a player advantage here for Galaxy Racer, but that was some good headshots. And potentially with the kit and the AK of Zaz and now Petra coming in from ramp, this could still become a little bit dangerous.
Petra's dead. Almost baited in there by the sandbag position from Zaz. It's an unfavorable spot to play into. Kelly V doing very well. And I want to say, Kelly V, when I look at Galaxy Racer, I see Vilga, I see Anna. But so far in this game, Kelly V has been doing very well, finding some really imperative kills. 7-4, it's not like a blistering performance. It ain't no Emmy on Inferno, but it's a really nice debut into this matchup. And on the other side, I look at Zaz as someone I want to see start popping up. Same with Giuliano, same with Mimi, Petra as well. We do have the AWP coming out, so that's a big change. And there's that big kill to start with. Petra getting a little aggy. And the switch up, well, it's going to be hard to kind of stick the landing. Petra is not looking so fast, and Zaz is going to be baited in here. This could be very dangerous for the T side.
Ooh, Zaz tried to get a kill there for herself, but eventually she got picked up and just a little bit of damage won't be enough to keep the player advantage. So it will now be on the shoulders of Petra. She did receive a little bit of backup at the back of the site, but things have slowed down also on the Galaxy Racer side because this is now tricky because the util that was once there is now gone. And just trying to get a little bit of the map control back. We see now 23 on the way towards a ramp through mid. And I like what Galaxy Race is doing. Make sure that you're suddenly not getting flanked because we know that XSET is most likely to do that once in a while. So they are trying to be absolutely ready for whatever XSET is able to pull off here in this round.
Yeah, hitting the brakes, adding a little bit of paranoia towards XSET, trying to ensure that you can maybe dismantle the stack that could have been leading this way, but it's going to be very hard. Considering Giuliano's now picked up the mantle where Zaz is, it's going to take that kind of cognitive decision to make sure you re-clear this angle, because in their minds, they may not think anyone's there. They do check on it, but it's a little sloppy. Claudia's going to die for that quick trade, but Petra, so quick to take down Vilga. That was so well done, and now Anna left in a dire scenario. 3 players to find, 2 on the site. Make it 3. They've all come over this way. The Molly will maybe give her a shot on 1, but Petra, big deny in a big round. First time seeing that AWP come out to play, and it's made a grand debut here.
Yeah, the way she already had that opening pick at first and then a little bit scaring off Galaxy Racer, then of course it slowed down, but it doesn't matter for Petra. No matter where she is, even if there's a Molotov right beneath her feet, she can still land her shots under great pressure. So I like that. And now 2 rounds on the board for X, a little bit more money in the bank. And suddenly it is all gone for the Galaxy Racer. They will have to deal with the pistols. We've seen XSET definitely deal a good amount of damage on those pistols, not win a round just yet. But let's see how Galaxy Racer will deal with their eco.
Yeah, again, you've got a good amount of utility. I'd really like to see maybe those flashes utilized as, you know, the gateway towards potentially that B site. Maybe you can do a nice couple of double flashes, knowing that that AWP was there. You could at least maybe force them off. Petra's not there this time, being very, very versatile, and I expect no less. Zaz will be under pressure. It does look like at least this will be the kind of focus of their desires for now. Giuliano playing deeper on the site off the back of Zaz's contact. And this could just be a burst piece, and it's going to at least catch Zaz. That calls Giuliano into effect. Zaz is having a rough game here, which, look, it takes 1 round for her to bounce back, so I don't worry about that. The T's for now, not quite finding what they'd want, which would be a plant. They have managed to take down 2. A 3rd would have been pretty much a win for the T's, I feel. Take down 3 players, force the economy into a worse spot, get a plant, build their money back up. It could have been worse. It wasn't a terrible round, though. Galaxy Racer still being competitive.
Oh, for sure. Only thing is now the economy not too great. We see now Galil come out, a little bit more util, which I like, not just to go with straight 5 AKs. Because util on this T side on Vertigo is so incredibly important, especially if you're about to head into XSET, who do play with your minds a little bit, and you need sometimes to get them out of position, to surprise them. So I like that they've chosen for that, but already a lot of util used early round. A couple of flashbangs left and 2 smokes on a Molotov. And so far, it might have delayed things a little bit, but not as much, I think, that Galaxy Racer would have liked. And now the focus is here, all on that A-bomb site. Meanwhile, Claudia trying to maybe...
Wait, is Mimi getting... Okay, I think Mimi
Yeah.
got the wallbang through the floor and then got wallbang back. Claudia tried to get a nice little lurk in middle, didn't quite get what she wanted, but it looks like Petra instantly knows what the intention was from this.
Petra landing the shot once again. There's a second one. She will not be able to land that one, but at least the information is there. But funnily enough, we do see a player now trying to go towards B, but that doesn't really matter because, man, this A-bomb site here on hold, even though there was a lurk, it really didn't pay off. And XSET still have all 5 of their players alive. The 2 left Ts are both half HP already. And this is real rough. There's 25 seconds on the clock, and even though Vilga tries to make a play, it simply cannot happen. They get all tagged up, but eventually, well, there is a kill, but it's only 1, and that's a very good round because, you know, this was the time for Galaxy Racer to get back into it, to have the weapons on the board, and now them losing all 5 players and not even dealing great amount of damage. That's looking rough on the economy side.
Sure, and I want to highlight how good Petra has become since getting this AWP. It's been a really hard thing to get past. We saw the presence of it towards B, kind of the first time we got to see it come out with Zaz in combination, and did very well at dealing with that play coming up the stairs, unable to push them away well enough. Now you've seen the versatility, and that kind of comes part and parcel with having someone like Petra, who is an exceptionally good player. And we saw what Anna could do. Anna has not had the same sort of performance yet. They're doing fine. They're being perfectly adequate, but we have not seen that big performance. Now, of course, it is the T side. It's a little trickier to make come into action. Now, the economy's in a bad spot. That's going to be just a pistol or 2. They shouldn't really get too low. There's the little smoke towards ramp. I hate trying to throw that. I literally will never land it. I've tried so often. Sorry, Alex, whenever he plays ramp with me, it's rough. But beyond that, I kind of want to see Galaxy Racer. I feel like it was the right time to hit that timeout, basically, to try and get maybe a grip on how to approach this AWP from Petra that's been a constant problem. It's definitely changed the dynamic for the CT side. Since that's come into play, they have really racked up the rounds. So again, shout out to Petra for making that work, showing, I guess, how viable the AWP is really when played so well in this map.
Yeah, not just viable, just very versatile as well. The one time she's on a ramp hitting the shots, backing off towards the side if necessary. And we had that round earlier when she hit that B early aggression. And no matter like where she is, what she does, so far she seems confident. She's carrying the team around. And now, oh my lord, 3 kills already. 2 for Juliana, 1 for Mimi. And the good thing is though, Galaxy Racer were able to get that bomb down. Probably the one thing they were trying to get out of this round. So that's good. But holding on to the site now with just a few pistols and 2 players alive will most likely be not a very ideal scenario, and the shots are simply not hitting for Kelly. Kind of a lost round there for Galaxy Racer, but at least the money from that bomb plant is in the bag. But once again, 4 people alive, not a lot of damage taken for XSET, and the scoreline is now all tied up.
Yeah, so this is the round where we should start seeing the answer to what they believe is the best way to potentially deal with Petra. They brought out the AWP on Anna as well, but I want to see what the T side really does with this. I want to see how they approach this one. As, again, they've been kind of run around by Petra's impact, and we are seeing Petra getting pretty proactive towards ramp. So if she takes a peek down there, that could be a free opening, a potential big pick to start with, and way more aggressive from 23 towards try and get some of that control building by construction on short, so taking up a bit of space here. Decent idea, or at least kind of force anyone who was aggressive a little further away. That is a dirty little angle, isn't it? forced off by the Molotov, you should know that you're going to be pressing someone either forward or back, but 23 caught in the blender. That's just not an accessible path right now. Nice work from Vilga. Just spams away, catches Mimi, who, to be fair, has now been spammed away in that spot a couple of times. So that position's been noted. We have to see that switch up.
Yeah, it's great how Galaxy Racer just was punishing that. Of course, knowing from previous rounds how Mimi used to be in that spot quite a few times. So now Mimi is most likely have or needs to adapt from that round going into the next one. And now the A side is about to be hit. There's a flashbang going over. Petra can maybe look towards the standback position if someone will be peeking there. But right now, it's Galaxy Racer just trying to block everything off with smoke. The bomb is down. And now a 4 versus 4 situation. Giuliano will be coming in from ramp, just holding off a little bit, trying to sell the idea that no one will be there. But maybe with a little bit of a delayed timing, she can make something work. Oh, but it will be looked at, and no one can actually land their shots just yet. And meanwhile, Cressy is just going to
They're holding
things. And Ninja, the bomb there, right? And here we have it. XSET with the defuse coming in. Still 4 players alive. Only a little bit of damage taken. And that suddenly went from, okay, it's a 4v4 to every single player being wiped off.
I mean, it's not an easy map to hold when there's still so much utility with the CT side. You could see the importance of those smokes, and still Petra finding place even in a post plant with an AWP like that when it's already kind of smoked in, giving you only close quarter fights. Very well done. Again, that retake was brilliantly choreographed. Having that much utility late in the round certainly pays dividends. Now, and this something, for example, I like this from Giuliano. Whether or not she has to push beyond this is beyond the point. I feel as though you can kind of leave her posted up like this. And Zaz, maybe put a flash down or a nade. That kind of, I guess, implies that, okay, it's just Zaz in that same position, no worries. And it could loosen Zaz to maybe play a little bit more towards middle. But already you're seeing some good ramp progress coming out, very quiet. And normally, I'd say Crassy's been pretty good for at least one. Anna, not so subtle, but look at the difference in approach, very deep on the side. Giuliano being played in perfectly off the back of this. Zaz just needs to fall away. Giuliano can hold this and maintain information. The hit's coming in elsewhere regardless.
Yeah, already quite a lot of control here on A, and they're trying now to keep that control. And ooh, Petra almost landing the shot once again. This time they do manage to escape. And the util is now making things kind of hard for XSET. Salt and Petra already down to around 30 HP each. And Giuliano is the only player with full HP. But anything can still happen. We saw it last round. Oh, almost through the smoke. The scope was nearly there. But looks like they will try to just maybe back off a little bit. Try to see if anyone is going to be making a mistake. But Galaxy Racer will not. They're actually sitting tight this time around and making sure that the util was there, which I like because the last round it wasn't there, and it was so easy actually for XSET to just maintain that control. And finally, there's an answer from Galaxy Racer. Kelly, if you landing the shot, and this time, finally, Galaxy Racer have 4 people alive, surviving that AWP in the hands of Anna as well. Ooh, actually, well, make it 2 because the bomb. Yeah, if you're 2 people who are low HP, you have to kind of run away.
Oh, I see someone in chat has shown their rank of being silver. So I just want to highlight when we discuss things like showing why the AWP is viable on this map, and how that kind of comes into effect. So at this sort of level, right? So when it goes beyond just kind of, your gold novas, your silvers, around this marker, people have this thing called utility that they know how to use. So it gets quite hard to find implementation of it. It's why when we see versatile AWPers, like let's say Device, I'd say he's one of the most characterized people who plays it to such a good extent, shows how viable it can be even against really tricky scenarios that are traditionally meant to make it harder. So for example, in that retake for Petra, a retake with an AWP on the CT side, not necessarily too tricky, but then take into account how many smokes were there, the position she was playing against, it takes it outside of the context of it be one shot, I shoot man, they die. So there you go. Tiny brain person in chat, please hide your rank away from me, it's embarrassing. Regardless, into this round, we do have a decent purchase for both sides, so full utility coming out. Grassy, I like this attention to detail on ramp. Now, let's look at what that does. Conditioning the T's to now have to clear that. No subtlety to those steps, so they have to work back in and clear those angles using all that utility, be very cognizant of the fact that someone could be there. And again, XSET have been doing this consistently. Roll your mind back to Giuliano, pushing up previously. So the T's will have to keep going through the motions of being very meticulous, and it takes time and utility to clear this. Nice information for Giuliano just on the peak. Has a little look, doesn't see anything, feels maybe she can back away a little. And I think you're going to have the likes of kind of Petra, Zaz, and Giuliano quite present towards middle and B.
And now the smoke and flashes will be flying out, but things are still a little bit slow. But now there's Molotov once again in the same position, this time beneath the feet of Giuliano, but they're not making a move just yet. They're trying to maybe sell, oh, this is just one person throwing the Molotov, it will be a fake. But in fact, it will not be, now that even more flashes will be flying over, and the 30-second mark is right there. And the bomb is actually on his way towards A. The fake actually worked. It's a double fake, in fact, because the first time around, just a simple one Molotov, one flash. Okay, maybe it's a fake. And now the second time around, we actually see that there were so many people focusing on B, but now 4 of the CTs already rotated in. The time is not on the favor of Galaxy Racer. There was still so much user left in the hands of XSET. One thing that really they have been doing so well on this CT side so far, and every time around, they just make it happen. Just one simple Molotov is all it takes if you're too slow.
I was really hoping they would have gone for that kind of right side plant there while the smokes were still up, just towards the back of the, you know, kind of elevator area. Just because as much as not an ideal post plant, at least it would have been safe from that Molotov coming back in a little late in the day. And again, I want to highlight something with XSET that's really stood out to me, is great utility usage again. They were so ready to be postured up for that retake. They sat deep, instantly fell away towards the site. Okay, we've only got 2 players on this site, no problem. We can sit back and play this to the time. So well done. Instantly fall away, maintain the Molotovs, keep the smokes up, have the flashes, so they never even got threatened by that plant coming in. Galaxy Racer have hit a bit of a brick wall at the moment, I feel. Their T-side scoreline-wise is still perfectly adequate. It's not ideal, but it gives you enough wiggle room. But I've got to say, XSET, once they've got Petra out on this AWP, it has looked substantially better. It looks so well-rounded. So now Mimi, just a little bit of a switch-up. It looks like her and Cressy kind of looking interchangeable almost. But Zaz is getting curious. Kelly V's on the other side, P250. So Kelly V's going to probably struggle with this. I mean, the P250 range-wise can do a lot of damage, but still, Zaz would have to be cautious about this, and you can see the kind of reserve being shown, but that want to push. Petra's got it back as well. There's the flash, there's the swing, and there's the combination of the two. Claudia now backs away, oh, caught with smoke in hand. Awkward timing. Mimi's found Anna. This looks like another shutdown.
Yeah, the meantime, though, the bomb is going towards A, but looks like it is on hold once again. 23 did land 1 kill onto Mimi, but it just leaves Claudia and the bomb on the side. A very rough spot to be in. Now, of course, she does have 1 AK, but 4 queens she needs to go up against. There's 1 more in the back for her. So definitely not too bad, but we have to keep in mind, this was yet again a round they bought. It was only Kelly V on the pistol. So money-wise, this is not very ideal. It's really a rough spot to be in. And they just cannot seem to make it happen so far. So they keep being stuck at that 6-round scoreline.
As said, it's not an easy way to find an answer. There really isn't. I mean, you'd hope you'd maybe stick the landing. They've been getting the bomb down. They've been taking site control, but working away that utility from the CTs. Because keep in mind, look at the different approach from XSET now. Way deeper holds in the site. They know that they're maybe up against a lighter purchase, maybe Tech 9s, but actually it's going to be Mac 10s. Similar effect. So they're not going to let them get into an area they can work with. They're very, very aware of what they're coming up against buy-wise. So the rifles will be with Kelly V and Claudia. They have to make these find some sort of impact. Again, it's a real shame to see the likes of Anna not quite having the performance I wanted. Still obviously just the T side so far, so we have to wait and see, but you can already see this posturing. Keep an eye on the utility for XSET. It is still in a very good position.
Yeah, there's still 3 Molotovs, a big bunch of nades left as well. Least that Nate doing quite a good amount of damage onto 23, but still, all 5 players are left alive, and the bomb is taken away right now. It has been planted, so the retake needs to come in effect kind of soon, and maybe trying to land a few shots there, but eventually the squad will have to group up, and utility will now be deployed as one towards the site, but so far, not really forcing anyone out. 23 is still popping off. Oh, but Lord, look at this. Giuliano coming in with the flank, but is it too late? Coming out of the smoke, not very ideal, and eventually it's 23 with the Mac 10, in fact, getting the last answer, and that means we are here at the end of the first half, and that means we will go to a very quick break before we are back with the second half.
See you. Ladies, put your hands in the sky, raise them up. Put your hands in the sky so I can see them. Ladies, put your hands in the sky, raise them up. Put your hands together, put your hands together, put your hands together. Come on, ladies, come on, girl, put your hands together, put your hands together, put your hands together. Come on, ladies, round them up. Hey, we are a unit unstoppable. We are a unit of choice. We are a unit that's powerful. Nothing can stop the force. Put your hands together. Come on, ladies. Come on, girl. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Come on, ladies. Round them up. Hey. We are a unit unstoppable. We are a unit of choice. We are a unit that's powerful. Nothing can stop the force. This is for my ladies round the world. All across the globe. All around the world. For my ladies round the world. Put your hands together. Come on, ladies. Come on, girl. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Come on, ladies. Round them up. Put them up. Raise them high. Sing it, girls. Louder, louder. Put them up. Raise them high. Sing it, girls. Louder, louder.
We could have it all. Gonna take a chance, we can never fall. Yeah, I feel so strong, unstoppable. Just hold on tight, gotta let it roll. Don't stop this feeling, let's take it too far. Live for these moments, let's reach for the stars. We will stand our ground.
Welcome back to the upper bracket final here between XSET and Galaxy Racer. Certainly some history between these two teams, and so far it's looking very close, 8-7. It was kind of a bit streaky though, I think we can say. It looked like initially there was a bit of a run, and then the turnaround happened for me when Petra got that AWP. Really able to dig her heels in, great retakes, and Galaxy Racer couldn't quite get it going, but that's the start for Vilga. Claudia, both gonna get names on the board. Favorable as well until there's the reply. Finally, a bit of a trade out.
Oh man, and Galaxy Racer started out this round with 4 people on that A side. Pretty good read, but already 2 taken out of the running, so didn't really have a big effect. And now it's pretty much a 3-against-3 situation. And look at that, Zaz picking up yet another kill, make it 2. And now Kelly is the last CT standing, stuck behind the smoke there, even met with a few bullets, but she's still alive. She does have a kit, and there's now a smoke going to be deployed towards that short area. But will it be enough? That is the question. There's still 3 people in her way she needs to take care of, and everyone is just sitting tight, and eventually it is Cressy landing the shot, dealing with the headshot. And so far so good. The util was there, the good take, and already, I mean, crisp headshots, that's all you pretty much need in order to take people down easily.
Yeah, I mean, must be nice to be Zaz, right? That smoke just set her into motion, and just a freebie on 23 kind of backing away. But you take those, you take what you get. We do have a very similar buyback in, more 5-7s than Deagles than we saw the other way around, but same intentions for the CTs here. Scout, Deagles, you're looking for tags, you're looking to chip away at the T side. And the T side's purchase, a little bit more investment towards the rifles. 3 coming out this time, 1 Galil, 2 AKs, Mac-10s. And a decent amount of utility as well, but it's about showing caution. There's the first tag. Keep eyes on Ana. We saw what she could do with those scoped weapons before, and I wonder if we're going to get a taste of that again now on the CT side.
Galactic tries to answer with regaining a little bit of control back right there on mid, but Claudia met with the Galil there of Mimi falling down, and now they are also a player down. Of course, there's still some control for Galaxy Racer, but XSET, they have the better weapons. They still have Molotovs and smokes left in order to take a site. And now with the 4 people going towards that A ramp, it looks like they might have a similar strat of last round ahead of us. But Ana, she is waiting and ready and boosted up with that scout, and maybe this timing will be right. Vilga ready to land a shot, but not really actually ready for Zaz to be right there, and all the weapons are eventually just sweeping everyone right off the map. No further damage. It was all left onto that scout and then 1 Deagle at first, and that means XSET is now on double digits, and they can pretty much go for a little bit of a bonus round here.
Yeah, still keeping those rifles up is huge, so 3 of them maintained. Can reinvest on Zaz, no problem there. On the other side, it's going to be a nuke. Let's see where those CTs are lining up. They'll probably go for a stack to try and deliver. And it's actually a good read. If they land these nades, it could be a problem. And it is. Claudia there towards Giuliano. And suddenly, a little bit of a threat. Now, keep in mind, no armor. It's going to be limited. But I love that from 23 and Claudia. Pressing the issue. Not relenting. Keeping up on this. Now, there's still a chance this closes out well for Mimi. These 2 have to swarm. KB. The timing. Mimi, what are you up to? Such a fumble. I know the intention was there to try and smoke it out, but you can't do that. You saw the aggression that was poured through. And Galaxy Racer, you take them, but you don't expect them. Claudia's probably loving that. You're going to be sat there kind of beaming off the back of it. And yeah, I mean, look, P250s in close quarters, not even necessarily close quarters, P250's effective range is actually pretty decent. As I said, it can compete with the USP, so it's one of those that can definitely be a bit of an equalizer, but that's got to boost the confidence now, Velas.
Oh, for sure. Now having them, the money is now in the bank. There's even an op in the hands of Ana. So this is really her time to shine. Last round was great. And now they need to keep it going to get on the double digits as well. On the exit side, we do see an op in the hands of Giuliano. Petra left with just the Deagle. But it should still be okay. But the question is, how will they deal with it? Right now, things are slowing down. Just everyone grabbing a little bit of control. We do see 3 people towards a ramp. And potentially trying to bait out a little bit of util. Because, of course, CT side has a lot more than they have. So anything they can win right now is a big one. And now Mimi with an opening here on mid. Of course, is now a Molotov in return. But it's an opening frag. And there's now a player advantage for XSET.
Yeah, and it's going to be cool to probably float between mid and try and keep tabs on this. This is exactly how XSET wanted to start this off. This is the perfect beginning for them. Zaz showing presence now. Going to keep eyes, maybe considering that there's still presence here, but for the CTs, it's going to be a bit of a gamble. They have to try and consider where they want to be. Maybe a retake, potentially, towards a site. that it looks like the T's are heading to. Nice little deep smokes as well. Going to at least cut vision quite far, so you can't really utilize that elevator position. Looks like Giuliano might catch a glimpse. Smoke just keeping them safe for now, playing from the sandbags. And we are into post-plant territory now. This is a hard retake. A lot of players still up, and with Mimi doing this through middle, it's going to make it worse. They cannot focus on what's in front of them with a player behind them.
Yeah, and one thing I want to highlight here, whereas XSET on their CT side had like smokes and molotovs left, the only thing Galaxy Racer now is able to work with are flashbangs, but they are making them of good use. 23 getting another kill, and now they are onto the bomb, but it will not be enough. There was no single smoke left to cover them, and XSET will win it here in the post-plant scenario. We already see them being very happy with that round, and now the scoreline is 11-8, and man, that must have been rough, you know. They started out with limited amount of weaponry and util, so technically it wasn't a favorite there of Galaxy Racer, but they're back to the pistols.
The economy's brutal on this map. It is what it is, right? Double AWP T side. Against pistols. It's not my favorite flavor of the week. But, you know, who am I to doubt it? As said, it maybe just picking it up and running with it, but probably would argue to not pick it up. But I think they're actually lacking a gun on one of the players. There's the overwhelm, but good information to be found. And did they recover the rifle? They did. I'd like Claudia to get that. At least she's got a little bit of body armor to maybe work with, but for now, Vilgo running with it. Mimi gonna keep all three players back. This should now be a bomb plant coming in and safety to be made for XSET.
Well, it should be, but oh, here we go. Here, finally, we have that bomb plant coming in. Giuliano still on mid. I like that positioning. Not everyone on the site. Just still keeping that control, even though you are up against some pistols. And Vilga tried to get something out of that AWP, but it is not happening. She doesn't even get to save it. And now the gap is widening on XSET and Galaxy Racer. They're now on the 12 scoreline. And money-wise, they're looking pretty decent. Not a lot of casualties. They can kind of keep it building right now. But also, this is now the time for Galaxy Racer to get back into the game. The full buy is up on the board. There's plenty of utility. But can they remain it for the retake scenario, just like we saw with XSET?
It looks like they don't want to go to that just yet. They can still play up close on ramp, try and take the fights, and they lose the fight. Sometimes you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and Krasi is wielding it today. 2 big kills on ramp, keeping things very favorable, and Zaz reading Claudia like a book. Not going to let her get away with that information play towards the other side of the map. And this is the one thing for XSET that I've been seeing is they have a very good default. A lot of teams just kind of instantly go to that ramp play with the vast majority of their players, which they are somewhat still doing. Keep in mind, this might already be kind of posturing to kind of understand this round is looking limited. Kelly V's just got back to the kind of wall, just sat there watching Siffinel crosses. But I love the fact they have Zaz still lurking mid. They've had Mimi being a nuisance in middle. So it's like you get these kind of play. And again, Mimi's in mid. It's keeping a problem building for Galaxy Racer. They can't just gamble stack. They can't do everything they... Oh, Kelly V thought she'd done it. Oh, we hate to see it. That happens so often. You think you've done enough, you turn away, and there you are. 13-8, though, scoreline now looking a bit of a problem for Galaxy Racer. If there's going to be a timeout, I'd like it to be soon if they have any left to try and discuss options. But I like this. I like this play from the T side. It's kind of a 3-1-1 and it's working well. Zaz and Mimi kind of keeping presence throughout the map, denying the ability to gamble stack, denying the ability to get easy CT side information. And Anna, 29 ADR, it's not enough. You were the superstar before, and when you put up numbers like that, you're held to a standard. You are being kept accountable to that sort of performance because we know you can do it, but it's not come through yet.
Yeah, now Galaxy Racer against No Fear 5, they were doing so great with punishing their opponents for the lack of control or for over-aggressing things. And right now, I'm not really seeing that same resistance they were able to pull up against that team. So I hope for a little bit of a switch up. Of course, now they are stuck on the pistol, so most likely will not happen this round. But of course, there's limited amount of time left. But okay, maybe the pistols will do something. It's at least 2 kills now. But things will definitely get real hard against those AKs. So the 2 casualties will just be it. But yeah, we have a 14-8. They're nearing towards that map point. And now the double up setup, they're looking to hope that this will be their savior.
The thing is, let's see how XSET approach this round. If I'm them, I go heavy into a site. They might go back to their standard, which it looks like it is. Zaz, Mimi, more focused towards other areas of the map. But against a double up, I like a maybe more all-in pace, a bigger site hit maybe. Don't go for those mid plays because it can be a problem. But I guess the main benefit here is that Anna's not been having a great day on the AWP yet. So it's still going to be a good chance here. Doubled up in middle, Mimi still wins it. Mimi is a constant nuisance. Damage done, and they know the AWP was there. Anna was not subtle. Mimi's double dipping. That's a little too bold for my flavor. Anna gets away with this time. Mimi could have backed away from that. They'd already done enough in that regard. Now the T's looking like maybe they've worked out there's something going on, but do they expect that second AWP? Kelly V, a new look for her this time, controlling that B site.
Oh, and the start is about to be hit with quite a big bunch of utility, but so far not really getting her out of position just yet. She can sit tight, but not expecting Petra to be so close just already. And that is Zaz now getting 1 kill, almost a second. And, oh man, 23 just down to 12 HP. Of course, there are kits. There's a smoke and double flashbang as well. But against now Juliana with that up and 2 AKs with full HP is real rough. But maybe there is a little bit of a lifeline. 23 now grabbing 1 kill for herself. But don't forget Petra. Doesn't matter if she doesn't have that up this time around. She can still shine with that AK. And this time around, it is just playing hide and seek around the boxes. Cressy landing the last shot. And that is now map point for XSET.
Yeah, keep in mind Nuke will be the next one. That is XSET's choice. Personally, I actually quite like this site take. I'd love to have seen a molly back towards that quad area just to keep it safe. Luckily for them, Kelly V is, even with that AWP, not having a big bit of impact that round. But I have to say, the stars for Galaxy Racer have not... Are they boosting? You gonna do the... No. Okay, I thought we were gonna have some fun. Maybe we are. Petra, what is this little dirty angle we're working with? Looking for Kelly V at the back of quad. Really nice read, considering Kelly V had been playing that for a while. Not a bad look. I like this sort of kind of counterplay. My palms are sweaty. There's spaghetti everywhere. But yeah, right now, Galaxy Racer are missing their stars. Vilga and Anna from the previous game have not turned up today. Not yet. Now, there's a chance they can come back in map 2, but today has not been a good performance from them. Mimi, again, she is the mid controller. You don't get to make many plays against her. You can see the aggression. I like a push up in middle. Mimi already sitting back by the generator, though, looking for this. Finds it as well. Mimi is the monster of mid. No one's getting past. Surely this is going to be 16.
Yeah, this is now a 5 against 3, and there's literally no, except for one flashbang, there's no util left for Galaxy Racer to hold anything of, and there's still so much left for XSET. It doesn't matter that they've now switched to the T side. They are ready to get control. 40 seconds left on the clock, of course. There's still time to deny things, but now simply, if you look at it on paper, this should be it. Giuliano is now looking to find a rotation kill. Not gonna be there just yet, but she might be coming in with the flank. Petra landing a nice clean shot, and this surely almost should be it. Claudia now last player alive, but eventually it is Zaz. Of course she has the info, and that is now the first map for XSET.
Problem being as well, in my mind, that was Galaxy Racer's choice. This is now going to be a bit of an issue because you can see it, the smiles are starting to curl on the cheeks and they're starting to feel themselves. And that's a scary XSET when they start getting that confidence, when they know they're the better team, they play to that standard. So for me, Galaxy Racer need to turn up. The individuals need to turn up. And normally, I don't think star power is a huge element, as long as they're doing enough. But I've got to say, in that game, the stars were not doing enough. The two players that stood out to me, Anna being there and Vilga, I wanted to see more from them. We didn't see enough. That is going to be a big point. Nuke, I think, is coming up next. It is. And that's XSET's map. So, I do wonder what the desk makes of this, though, Vila. So we're going to head to them after a short break, and they can kind of give us a little bit of a wrap-up of their takeaways from map 1, and maybe even lead in with what they expect in map 2.
The first map of the upper bracket finals here with Vertigo and XSET versus Galaxy Racer goes the way of XSET. And we heard Pansy say it at the end of the map. She thinks it was a little bit lackluster from Vilga and Anna. I'm here with Potter and Miss Harvey. Miss Harvey, would you agree with the assessment of Pansy?
I mean, I think it was a team effort on their CT side. The T side wasn't looking so bad. It's really Galaxy Racer CT side that for me, they never got into that side, ever.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what a weird start, right? Because Galaxy Racer, if we think back on their last Vertigo, they lost all 4 pistols, but they still won that. And a hot start coming through here, winning that T pistol. A great first half, but the snowball, it just got out of control. They weren't able to hold down that A ramp. Vilga and 23 consistently losing out that duel. And I mean, Anna at that point was again playing rotate strike, unable to pull through and have those hero moments to get their riflers back into it. I mean, we saw Claudia even missing out on those duels in mid. She went 0 for 5 in her opening duels, and that's just simply not good enough, not putting up any sort of a defense to allow your other players to get into the rounds. And it just, everything kind of fell apart in that second half for Galaxy Racer.
Yeah, Ms. Harvey, I believe you have an example of something falling apart for Galaxy Racer on the drawing board.
I want to show exactly what Christine is talking about, because this was pretty much XSET's game plan. They didn't do anything else. They have a really standard default, 3 people at A with Mimi at mid and A, Zaz at B. And if I erase that and I start playing this round, you'll see Mimi is always just kind of doing her thing towards mid, trying to gather some intel. And that one specific round, right after Claudia throws that molly, Mimi just wins her duel. But let's look about what happened after that. All of XSET regroups towards A. And Mimi stays mid this whole round. She still hasn't been flushed out. She still hasn't been contested. There's CT players, let me just rewind here. There's CT players rotating towards A here from mid and CT spawn. Mimi's still there. And as we're executing in A with XSET, all of the players are converging. Mimi gets her second kill. She's still flanking. And at this point, Galaxy Racer is getting crushed from both sides. And Mimi is going to be able to get another kill to win this round easily by XSET. And it's just been like that throughout this whole half. Mimi's freedom in mid, she didn't do anything special, but just walk in and won her duels. And you can't allow her to do that. 0-5 for Claudia is not just Claudia's fault. I think it's the whole team not being able to recognize that they have to shut that mid down. They can't give that much room to XSET.
Well, let's see if they can do a little bit better on the map that is chosen by XSET. We're going to map 2. It is Nuke after the break.